All right, thanks everyone for joining us. Joining us today is head coach Robin Pingeton, ahead of our game against Arkansas tomorrow here at Mizzou Arena. Once coaches are ready, we'll go ahead and get started with an opening statement from her, and then open it up for questions. So, coach, when you're ready.
Just really appreciate you guys jumping on. Obviously, another great opportunity in front of us. It's a great opportunity looking at the month ahead. It's going to be very challenging. It doesn't get any easier. But if you're a competitor, you got to be pretty excited about what's in front of us. And just another tough loss at Kentucky. Still trying to figure out, playing to win at the end of those close games. Just the attention to detail, the discipline that goes into it, but also helping them understand that it's a 40-minute game, and all these possessions throughout the course of the game add up. Seeing a lot of good things, seeing a lot of growth, certainly seeing some areas that we need to continue to focus in on and improve on. But I'm proud of this group, and I'm really looking forward to the month ahead of us.
Questions when you guys are ready. It looks like Natalie Jones from KMIZ will be first.
Hey, Coach, hope you're doing well. Last time after we talked to you, you said after you look at the game film, you maybe have a little bit more insight, what you could learn from that game. Do you feel like, after you've had a chance to look at it now, what do you feel like you've picked up from that?
The Kentucky game?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
So, I think just understanding the flow for our kids, and that's what we broke down yesterday in our film session. Just understanding, what are great shots for us, for the good of our team. And, we took way too many early contested threes, especially in that first half. And understanding you go 2 or 3 possessions and, if the 3 ball is not falling, just being willing to create. The execution offensively in the sets that we did have, they got to get cleaned up. When we run a set, we've got to really be able to execute and execute to score on those. And so, those are 2 really big areas. I thought we did a good job on our turnovers. However, there was still 3 or 4 possessions that were completely on us. And you're going to turn the ball over in this league, but you've got to control the controllables. And, those 3 or 4 possessions, when you're going against a team that converts on them, they add up when it becomes a 1-point game with 30 seconds to go. And so just a lot of opportunities to learn and break down film with our kids, and just got to continue to trust the process, that all this stuff is going to help us moving forward as we continue throughout the course of our season.
Brian, go ahead.
Yeah, Robin, what were some of your takeaways from the first time you played Arkansas and the things you guys did well? I know that you guys gave up a couple offensive rebounds to them, but the offense would look pretty crisp.
Yeah, they're a really good team. Obviously, it's crazy when you look at where they're sitting in the standings in the SEC, and then they just go knock off UConn. So to say our league is pretty tough is an understatement. But we put them at the free throw line way too many times. I mean, they're a team that can score on 3 levels, right? They shoot the 3 ball really well. They can score in bunches in a hurry. They've got really good mid-range shooters, and they get to the rim. And then in addition to that, really good off that free throw line. For us, any of those live ball turnovers, that's easy baskets for them, and they just feed off that. So there's a lot of areas that we've got to clean up on. We've got to be able to guard hard without putting them to the free throw line. I think they shot maybe 31 free throws in that game. And so, being able to guard your yard and not allow them to get into your bodies. I think the majority of our starting lineup was in foul trouble in that first half. And so it was a game that, we had to go to our rotations and deep into our bench, which, isn't always a bad thing, but that foul trouble did, I think, hurt us quite a bit in that first half. So certainly some things we did well, but right now I'm focused on the things that we can clean up to put us in a better position.
Shannon Belt, Missouri, go ahead.
Hey, Coach, how do you keep morale up when you guys have a tough loss against Kentucky? And how do you keep the momentum when you keep the momentum going when it's always these close games, and the SEC, as you said, is very tough. So what is something that you tell to your players to keep them motivated throughout the overall conference play?
Yeah, that's a really good question. I think easier said than done, but I also am a big believer that you've got to live your life based on principles and not emotions. And how you do anything is how you're going to do everything. And, one of our core values of our program is to fall in love with the process, and you've got to trust the process. Despite the outcome, it's about the process. It can't be that scoreboard. It's got to be about the process. And if you do things the right way and you do it again and again and again, it's all going to pay off for you. And I have seen a lot of growth in our team. Right now, I think there's still quite a bit to play for. Our net ranking, I think we're around a 41, with a lot of opportunities to improve on that over the next couple weeks. I think our kids have seen growth. I think perspective. I think, again, with a team that has so many new faces and different players, for us not to have an off season, it did hurt us. And then not to have the non-conference and some practice time. I mean, it's just been a really uncommon year. And so you just got to maintain perspective. You got to keep your nose to the grindstone. My philosophy is you're either winning and learning or you're learning. We're not going to lose right now. We're going to grow. We're going to have a growth mindset, and we're going to get better one day at a time. And again, we're going to live our life based on principles, not emotions, and stay true to what our core values are as a program.
Back to Colin.
Yeah, Coach, I'm curious if the sort of 8 or 7 person rotation you've been going with this season was something you intended to go and be consistent throughout the season, or if maybe that's part of the side effects of not having that full off season is maybe a one person shorter rotation off the bench.
Yeah, definitely had anticipated going deeper, and I think we would have. I was actually just having this conversation with Jayla Kelly earlier today. I said, not having an off season or a preseason, I should say, that makes it really hard as a freshman because, when you're in high school and you're getting ready to go to college, you think you're working pretty hard and you usually are, but there's a whole nother level. And then not only just the workload, but the details, the new terminology. I mean, there's just so much coming at you. And so it makes it really hard. And then, you miss that first couple weeks of practice because of contact tracing and quarantine and in and out. And then, some of your non-conference games get canceled. And so it's hard to just get thrown into the wolves as a freshman, I mean, in this league. And so I definitely think that has impacted our rotation. But at the same time, the challenge, for some of our players is to not get caught in that mindset of, okay, this is what I'm going to do in the off season. Don't waste this next 2 months thinking about what you're going to do in the off season to prepare so your season looks different next year. Treat every practice as if it's your game and get better right now. And I think that's an uncommon thing, but that's what we're challenging some of our players to do. And so they've been tremendous. I tell you what, you want to talk about a coach that's proud of our team. We've got some really unselfish kids that really haven't gotten a lot of minutes that are all about the front of the jersey. And they are trusting the process, and they're great teammates, and they bring tremendous value to this team. So many times we look at the box score or a stat line, and sometimes you just can't put a measuring stick on the kind of value that these kids bring to the table for us.
Natalie Jones.
At the beginning, you mentioned that you're still trying to kind of work out how to get those last minute wins. I may be wrong for thinking this, but do you think it's a mental thing, or if you can just get through one of those last minute wins and get that win, that maybe that would be a breakthrough for this team? Or what are your thoughts on that?
Well, I mean, I think to a certain extent, but then we did it at Florida. So, I mean, that kind of came down to the wire and was a 1-point game. But I do think there's something to be said about, playing to win versus playing not to lose. And that's a fragile mindset to be in. And I think, the conversations out there on that court, peer to peer. It's one thing for me to say it. It's another when they look each other in the eyes and they lean in. When things get tough or get tight, you got to lean in. You got to look each other in the eyes. And, at some point you just got to say, I'm drawing that line and we're going to go do this. But just understanding time and score, situations. Do we need to foul? Do we not need to foul? Being able to execute a set or an entry or an out of bounds play, understanding, who's got the hot hand, like against Kentucky Day, trying to get that ball inside as much as we could late in that game. And part of that, just like you go to class and you study, you got to study the game too. It's not just about practice, but it's honestly about, visualizing and thinking through scenarios too. And so we're going to get there. I promise you that. I promise you that. I think if we can keep the mindset that we're going to keep learning and growing, this is all going to pay off for us. We're looking at, I think, and I don't know this for sure, Andrew, I don't know if you had a chance to look at it, but we've got a young team out there, a young team that hasn't played together. Maybe the youngest in the SEC in regards to starting lineups. I think I saw that somewhere, that we have the youngest starting lineup in the SEC, and don't quote me on it. I could be wrong. And so, there's just going to be a learning curve. But it's exciting if, the girls can stay the course and learn and grow and keep moving forward.
Colin.
Yeah, Coach, I don't mean to push your attention past Arkansas, but whenever you do get to focusing on Auburn, does the game plan change at all, knowing that Unique Thompson is back there, and I guess she wasn't when you guys were originally scheduled to play them?
I think we felt like she was going to be playing when we played them. I can't really remember, but was she about to come back? Yeah, I mean, that seems like a minute ago, but in regards to Unique, she's one of the best in the league, no doubt about it. She is a double machine, and she's, I think, a game changer. And so, yeah, I've got a lot of respect for her game, and a very talented young lady, but you're not going to get me off track. I am focused on Arkansas. Good try.
Last one comes from Shannon Bell. Go ahead, Shannon.
Hey, Coach, this is a kind of an off topic, kind of relating to what you're talking about earlier with high school athletes kind of getting ready to come into this college setting. One of your younger commits, Addison Potts, what do you think? Have you been able to keep up with her, or see what she's been up to? I think she's about to score her 2,000 points this upcoming Thursday.
And we can't quite talk about recruits that haven't been signed national letter of intent yet. So she, that specific recruit is not quite ready to be talked about yet.
Gotcha.
But I can tell you this: we've got a handful of young commits that are really have accomplished some really cool milestones, and so we're really looking forward. Without mentioning names, we're really looking forward to the young kids that are signed up to be a Tiger. So
Thank you for that. My bad. I didn't know.
nope, it's okay.
All good. I'll do it for Coach P today. Thank you, everyone.
Appreciate you guys.